It's one of the quietest revolutions in history. We don't see it in the news every day, but it's reshaping everything. Our economies, our cultures, the future of entire nations. I'm talking about the global collapse of birth rates. And if you look at the last 50 years, it's just staggering. Let me tell you about my friend's parents in Iran. They grew up in big families. 5, 6, 7 kids was normal. That was the 70s. Fast forward to now, their own kids are having 1, maybe 2. The country went from one of the highest fertility rates in the region to one that's actually below what's needed to replace the population in less than a generation. Think about the social whiplash that creates for grandparents. But Iran's not even the most extreme story. That title goes to South Korea. This is the one that just blows my mind. In the 70s, the average woman there had about 4 or 5 children. Now, it's dropped below 1. We're talking less than 1 child per woman. Think about that math. It's not just a decline, it's a population halving with every generation. I read an article where a young couple in Seoul was interviewed. They weren't even thinking about not having kids as a political statement. It was just the math of life, the insane cost of housing, the years of brutal study and work competition to get a good job, the pressure. Having a kid felt like an economic impossibility, a luxury. That's a profound shift in how people see the very point of building a life. And then you have the places that surprise you. Saudi Arabia. The image we often have, right? Large families, traditional values. Well, data shows that in 1980, the average was over 7 children. 7. Today, it's hovering around 2. 2! That's a drop of 5 whole children in about 40 years. Women there are now among the most educated in the region. They're entering the workforce. Priorities change. The story isn't about policy forcing it, it's about people, especially women, choosing differently when they get the chance. It's the same song, different verse all over the developing world. Bangladesh, Brazil, Mexico, Morocco, places that were once symbols of rapid population growth have done a complete U-turn. They went from big rural families where kids were hands to help on the farm to smaller urban families where kids are a huge investment. Education, healthcare, you name it. But you know what's really interesting to me? It's not just about economics. I think it's about a fundamental change in the idea of a child. A kid went from being an asset, an extra pair of hands, a form of social security for your old age, to being the single most precious project of your life, the most expensive, emotionally consuming project you'll ever undertake. And in a world that feels unstable with climate worries and uncertain economies, that project feels heavier. The real-time experiment is China. The one-child policy famously crashed the rate. But even after they relaxed it to 2, then 3 kids, the rate kept dropping. It's now one of the lowest in the world. Why? Because after decades of the one-child norm, that mindset is baked in. Plus, the cost of raising a quality child in hyper-competitive cities is just astronomical. The government can say have more, but if the math of daily life says you can't, people won't. Telegram viewers, the code is TA162359. In the end, this chart of falling numbers isn't just data, it's millions of individual choices. It's about hope for a different future for your children, and maybe a bit of anxiety about the world you're bringing them into. It's the most personal decision becoming the most powerful demographic force on the planet.